Howdy, people. Hope you guys are well. I'm good. Abdulaziz here, just to give you some info regarding the Premier League and what's been happening through week 8. Crazy things, to say the least. Let's start with Leicester City. They've just sacked Craig Shakespeare. I'm perplexed. Leicester, you won the league 3 seasons ago. You were not bound to turn up and win the league again. Leicester City fans have to understand that this doesn't happen. It's an anomaly, which means it's less likely to happen again. So you ride with the guy you have until something better happens, which means you go up the table. Let's think about it this way. They won the league 2015-2016. The following season, Leicester City finishes 12th, which is the worst position for a defending champion. That tells you something. The season before you won the league, you just arrived from the championship. You've got to understand it's not what you're supposed to be doing annually. You won the league once. Good. Leicester City fans, happy for you. I'm so happy that they won it for the city and everything that comes with it. But you just can't sack Craig Shakespeare. He's a good manager. Personally, I feel like Craig Shakespeare is a good manager. It just happens not to get the result. To be fair, in fact, I won't blame Craig Shakespeare. If you were to look at the game they played against West Brom on Monday, which was yesterday, Leicester City had more possession of the ball. They had more chances, more shots on target. The opposition had more clearance, yet Leicester only managed to score one goal, and that only happened in the second half. Who came to the rescue? Mahrez. Mahrez has been linked for move away for quite some time. So the Mahrez that I'm seeing on the field is Mahrez physical. Mahrez mental is somewhere else. I'm telling you, Mahrez wants to go. When January comes, don't be surprised when Mahrez packs his bag, gets a call, and he's out. But that, for me, for them to sack Craig Shakespeare is quite sad, and it's one of those that would create more debate regarding English managers not getting a job in the Premier League. But that's another topic for another day. I'm I'm perplexed, so I'm just gonna leave it there. You guys can make of it what you wish, but let's just say to sack Craig Shakespeare. I don't know what to say. On to the next game. Liverpool had Manchester United in the first game of Saturday. For me, it was just the two teams decided, you know what, we're going to turn up, we're going to park our buses, and then we'll see what happens. Chelsea are renowned for parking the bus. Liverpool said, right, they parked the bus, we'll turn up, we'll park the bus too. And yes, it wasn't one of the best games, but the two very good teams, and you can't really. There is nothing you can say. They turn up. They didn't do what they thought. I'm not gonna attack as much in order to concede a goal. The positions feel the same, and it is what it is. Until next game, Burnley against West Ham. I had actually I was a bit I was leaning slightly I leaned more towards Burnley to win the game. It was a draw, but Burnley, one of those teams. Sean Dyche, very good manager, and I always feel like they will fight until the last game, and until the last minute, sorry, and they're very good. I love watching Burnley, so I'm happy for the draw. It's a good point for them. And the shock of the week perhaps is Palace being bottom of the league, not having scored, and scoring the first goal, and having the first win against last year's champion. How does that even work? Like you beat Chelsea, You didn't score goals. You didn't have a win. You playing against Chelsea, who's been on fire. Let me check how many. I know they didn't have Morata, but it's Chelsea. You expect them to win, and Palace did it. Awesome win for them. Awesome win for them, and it's good for them. It's personally, I feel like it's one of those wins that's really good for the Premier League because their record wasn't good for their team, and the Premier League is known as one of those teams. As the Premier League, sorry, is known as the league, as one of those leagues which is arguably, if not the best, arguably one of the best league in the world and one of the hardest in which to play in. And for Palace to win against Chelsea proves exactly what you expect in the Premier League. So kudos to them. On to the next game, City against Stoke. I expected City to come and turn up and do what they do. You know, score goals, but I didn't expect seven. No Aguero, Jesus, Gabriel, Gabriel Jesus filled in perfectly. De Bruyne is majestic. It's like watching Iniesta doing what he does. So I won't be surprised if one day when Iniesta decides to hang up his boots, Barcelona call him, De Bruyne, we need you. Come and take that number for us. So De Bruyne, honestly, awesome. But so I feel as though the Bruyne performances have been, it's slightly been creeping up and then overshadowing David Silva, who's been that guy for some time, but now it's De Bruyne. Even Sterling does this odd job now and then, but now it's more about De Bruyne. To feel like to think that many thought it was a Chelsea flop, and now look at him. He's arguably the best player in the league at the moment. So hey, De Bruyne, keep doing what you're doing. Arsenal, Watford. In my previous video, my predictions, in my final prediction, if you listen carefully, I'd said Watford we're gonna beat Arsenal. It's Arsenal. If you are an Arsenal fan, which I am, but man, they view things that you can't put in word. It's unfathomable what Arsenal does. It's They would often beat the big teams, but the teams that play really tough football, Arsenal struggles to beat them. It's like Stoke against Man City. Man City turn up and they did what they had to do. No messing about. Chelsea, it's another one, but Arsenal goes to Watford. I know at times it's one of those things. Arsenal's been doing that for many years. That's why people don't actually trust them. They don't believe that they are a top team because they say they will let you down when they're not supposed to let you down like that. Because Chelsea, it's an anomaly. They would go on to beat teams, but with Arsenal, you don't know. These are the type of games they should be winning if they want to keep on going and improving and give the chance to players like Ozil, Alexis Sanchez to stay. If you lose games like this, these guys won't want to stay around. They want to go somewhere else where they can win games, where they can win trophies. So you've got to look at it and then think, what is it that Arsene Wenger's not doing right? Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain left the team to go to Liverpool. That's another. It's another ambiguous situation to discuss, but I feel it's for me when we won the FA Cup. For me, it was the time for Arsenal to Arsene Wenger to say, do you know what, this is the end of the road for me. I'm going to give this chance to someone else to come in and keep on doing or keep on improving on what on what I have done, which for me is arguably one of the best foundation that a manager could actually lay for someone else to take over. But I don't know, man. Arsenal, they need to think about it very, very hard now. But that's why you enjoy football, because things like this happen. Big teams lose against small teams, and it's always fun. But Southampton against Newcastle drew, Leicester drew, and West drew. Brighton against Everton drew. But I was surprised by Everton not to start Nias. It's the game before Nias scored 2 goals. It's football is about momentum. Sports about momentum. You give Nias the chance to start the game. I believe Chelsea, Everton has a chance to win the game. But you started Rooney. Nias came on, I think, the 68th or 69th minute. There's no. I know that's probably. I mean, when he came in, when he scored his 2 goals, Rooney was injured. So it's one of those, like, you've got to give the kid the chance to start the game. He scored 2 goals. Keep keep stri- keep on stay on that wave. So, it's about momentum. It's what's about momentum. Stay on that wave. Keep riding the kid. You never know. They could have won the game, but they didn't. They've got their own priorities, which differs from mine. But that's what. But anyway, I'm looking forward to next weekend, and I hope you guys are too. Feel free to subscribe, comment, and also leave any tips. I've started this. I've started this. It's a new thing that I'm interested in, and I want to share my passion for not only football but also American football with you guys. So if you guys have any tips, ideas, comments that you would like to leave below, feel free to do so, and subscribe. There'll be more coming through. Thank you very much, and peace.